Hi, Promise Fellows. This is your Setting Boundaries and Mandated Reporter Responsibilities pre-recorded training. Once again, I'm Noam Weeks. I'm the Training Development and Evaluation Director. Just want to go through some building blocks to start your year. I'm going to start with setting boundaries. We just have a few pieces of guidance. Just that it's necessary. Like, you need to set boundaries in order to make sure that your students know what to expect of you. So that could be anything from like when they should be contacting to you, to that this needs to happen in a public room, or please make sure that you're including this person when you ask these kinds of questions, just so that way everything is transparent. But overall, boundaries are needed to protect you, to protect the students, and often they're not black and white. And I'll have this in a future slide too. I mean, we have so many different middle schools, high schools, community centers that we also need you to know what's expected in those settings, and like the policies and how they expect you to be engaging. So balancing both what I'm about to share and what your host site needs. So just off the bat is just some small but meaningful pieces. Just trying to make sure that you don't find yourself like in a personal one-on-one without anyone around. So often this is, like an open door policy. So if you are doing something like singularly with a student, that it's, with a door open or in some version of a, kind of a public space, to make sure that that you're protecting both you and the student. And when it comes to like social media, I know we had guidance in the policy, one of these, that, ideally we recommend that you're not friending students, but maybe your host site does, because that's one of the ways they connect with them. If so, awesome, but please make sure that you're engaging in an appropriate way with what your site's expecting of you. And then overall, just making sure that that you're keeping the student front and center. So time with them isn't about sharing personal pieces about yourself. So that way, I don't know, it is all about them, and making sure that you're not oversharing about yourself. Um, yeah. So all in all, just making sure that you're both like authentic and keeping them at the center of pieces. Finally, um, I'm not going to read this slide to you, but I think it's really easy to like jump into an experience like this and really hope that you can make a relationship fast and easy. But relationships take so much work, so you can't just expect them to open up to you, and that it might not happen very quick. And it might be a relationship takes a week to make, it might be a month to make, and you might support people that unfortunately just never are able to make as deep a relationship as what you're looking for. But making sure that I don't know, that you're respecting emotional boundaries, but even with that, that you're still there to support them. So those are just some tips. With that, I'd just like to segue into mandated reporting expectations and responsibilities. So this is kind of like the overview of mandated reporting. So who is required to report? You are in the field of education. There's many other fields that are required to report, but I highlighted you all as working in a school or a community center. And the following, I'm just gonna make it small so you can see everything. The following people are responsible for childcare is reportable. So whether that's happening, unfortunately at the household level, and to all these other people that are engaging and supporting a student, all of that is something that could be taken into consideration or is deemed like an at-risk. And these are like the following pieces that could be considered reportable. So whether it's harm to mental abuse to unfortunate sexual maltreatment, anything on this list is one of the reasons that we all are mandated reporters. So right now, I'm actually going to defer to the state of Minnesota on, they have a mandated reporting overview. So I'm going to pause this video and ask that you all click away and watch this for 8 minutes and then come back. So here's the review. Um, who is required to be a mandated reporter? Essentially anybody within the school or field of education, aka you. Um, they have to make reports, and that's anything from neglected to abuse. Um, and then if you don't do it, it is a misdemeanor. But with all of this, I do want to like stress, start with your supervisor. Um, Maybe what you're hearing, maybe what this hard incident is already being engaged with, and they have more context and could help you. Any way you go, if you are in a position where you have to file, you will have support from your supervisor, from ourselves, and we want to make sure that you're there for you. But we also want to make sure that that you know this information, um, and feel like that you are able to be like a champion for your student and advocate for any needs if something is unfortunately happening. If you have any questions, please reach out.